Previously. X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Warm weather we're having for this time of year.
Do you want I'll do later your intro and we'll come back to that.
Welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
You're among friends here.
You are among friends, casual friends, where we talk about the weather.
That's
Hot
right.
for this time of year. I am one of your hosts.
You and your stupid sunglasses at night can just bail.
That's what a dumb thing to call somebody.
Oh, well.
You can wear them. I just find the way he said it's really funny. Who's gonna? It's a very dated reference for a teenager in the year 2000 to be like, yeah, there's a Corey Hart reference.
I am your host, Skelbertooth, and with me, as always, my co-host.
Too hot to touch, at least with my hands.
That's the best one you've ever done, I must say. That's really
Too
good.
hot to touch, but that's why we do this at a distance. Yeah, Todd Talandre is here from Murdoch and Associates.
Ooh, I forgot to get rid of that part.
Okay, not from Murdoch and Associates. Apparently something went on there.
That's right. Let's just say
But-
I was fired for gross negligence.
We're here. We have evolved. Welcome to X-Rated Evolution, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to talk about X-Men Evolution for the next year or so. We'll see if we can get some guests as well, and of course, all our regular fun and hijinks.
So you can see our logo has changed.
Logo has changed.
Murphy didn't
Intro
get the
theme has
memo on the.
changed.
Can Murphy rescale our menu or our opening to give it a blue hue and throw in our new logo?
That might be asking a bit much. The music was enough of an ask.
Come on, it's all. Didn't you do the music?
Yeah, but
Oh,
I had to
that's
get it
not-
put on the video.
Oh, I see. Come on, Murphy. You like me. Murphy likes me. I'm definitely the more favorite of the two hosts in the show to Murphy, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he was a fan of the brand alterations.
Oh, really? For marketing reasons? Well, we can keep it wherever. It's fine, whatever.
No, it's good. It's good. But here we are, X-Rated Evolution. Here we are to talk about. Did you watch this one at all growing up?
No, I barely watched it tonight because I was waiting for a message to tell me you uploaded it. So I didn't look. But then I
did give you
downloaded
the message.
Oh, I didn't see that. I downloaded it, so I got it. It's not on Disney Plus anymore. I went to go watch it when I was doing cardio at the gym, and I could not find
I
it.
know. Looks like they took all the X-Men stuff off after
What?
97 dropped.
Like 97's the only thing you need, nothing else.
And TAS. It's just like they don't want to confuse people with the timelines.
The TAS is gone too?
No, it's still there. That's
Oh,
what I
okay.
mean.
I see.
It-
Interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting. Maybe it's a Canadian rights thing. I don't know. Maybe it's still on an American Disney Plus. Let us know,
I
people.
can't imagine. That's dumb.
Yeah. Well, the rights can get weird sometimes.
I don't like it. I don't
Well,
like it.
what about X-Men Evolution? Did you like the first episode?
I've never seen a single episode of the show before in my life. So, yeah, it was all right. Very, very much a product of early 2000s animation and kind of style. But that's okay. That's when I was watching cartoons as a later kid. You know, early teen. I was probably 15 into the year 2000, so around 14 or 15 when this came out. But definitely appealed to me. The reason I was asking
That wasn't supposed to happen. It's going to be another one of those
little trigger
things.
happy, huh? The one thing I do find doing the graphics for these is it's tough to find solid images from these episodes. So it's not nearly as easy to find as they are with the other show.
Well, not as popular, I guess.
Well, last 4 seasons is pretty good. Well,
Yeah.
they're short seasons, aren't they?
Yeah, shorter. I think it's 52 episodes total. 51, 52.
The one thing that made me laugh about that guy that helps Logan out with the water is he reminds. There's an episode of Ricky. Do you watch Rick and Morty?
I've watched the first season or two.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Oh yeah, it's fine.
I love that show. You gotta keep. There's an episode where they make fun of the Purge, And
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
so
that one a lot.
That
That's a
guy's
good one.
voice is the same as the lighthouse keeper, where he's like, "I'll let you in,
Yeah.
but I gotta tell you my tale." He's
My tail.
There's a girl, Stephanie, hot, not quite know it. You know, this isn't her day. Flashback, title card. This isn't her day.
I think I have that. I have that guy here somewhere. I think.
Well, you did it at the opening there.
Oh yeah, true enough.
Yeah, that was pretty great. It just reminded me of that guy a lot, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
Man, how about that?
Anyway, yeah, no, interesting. It's weird watching so much of one thing and then going on to watch, you know, like being so mired in one world for so long and then, you know, seeing something different. After spending so much time in the TAS universe, it's kind of surreal to sort of step out of it and start over again with something new like this.
It is. I saw the first season or so.
So you never finished it?
And then no, definitely not. Because then I kind of grew out of cartoons for a while, as you do.
Too cool for cartoons.
Yeah, I got too cool or too busy or whatever.
I was never too cool for cartoons. Let the record state. I watched cartoons.
Well, I was
my
for a
entire
few
adult
years.
life. When I was out of college, I bought all the Batman anime. When I left for school, I spent some of my student loan money and bought all the Batman animated series on DVD. Watched the shit out of that, and then the Justice League cartoon. Also watched shit of it. Never got around to watching all the Superman cartoon from that era. I gotta do that too.
How can I be happy when I look like this? I scare people.
His accent's a little over the map too on this.
Yeah, kind of. But here we are, season 1. What can I think I most certainly would have seen in the entire first season growing up, though. And as I recall, well, it's funny. It was triggering some memories in my mind, and I do remember like the star, at least of the first season, to me, at least in what my memories tell me right now, was Toad. Funny enough.
Seems like he definitely gets a big focal point. Was his name always Toad or Todd?
No, his name was Mortimer Toynbee.
I'm not sure which one's more ridiculous. At least Todd Todd Talansky sounds closer to a real name. Although it's just like very close to Toad. Todd is just Toad with a D instead of an A in the middle.
Yeah, Todd. I thought they were just gonna call him Toad Todansky or something.
Toad, yeah. It's always so dumb when it's just so contrived when the character's name tends to line up with whatever thing gives him his powers, or that whatever, you know, and like Otto Octavius or Mr. Freeze, his name is Victor Freeze. Just coincidentally, he gets frozen and gets freeze powers. Like, what are the odds? What are the odds?
His last name's Freeze.
Exactly.
Mr. Freeze's last name is Freeze?
Yeah, Victor Freeze. Fries. Or
yeah. Okay.
So it looks like fries, kind of, if you're looking at it, but it's like pronounced Freeze. So yeah.
Well, that's just silly.
Well, that's what it was on the animated series. So whether it's that in the comics or not, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it was Victor Freeze. Coincidentally, he goes into cryogenics. It's almost like it was, you know. I'm going to name my son Slaughter Johnson and hope he doesn't turn into a supervillain.
Slaughter Johnson. Slaughter Johnson Mayette.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Slaughter.
You wouldn't even name a cat that.
No. I shan't. How are you doing today, Devin? You seem a little distracted. Everything going okay?
Am I a little distracted? I don't know.
Seem a little distracted.
I'm all right.
Are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Life's okay?
Yep, life's good. Just, you know, trying to deal with this soundboard that's kind of blowing off on its own here.
Blowing off your soundboard?
Yeah. Making sounds I don't want it to make. But we'll see how she goes. We have evolved, but we haven't perfected.
You say we can evolve further? A secondary or a tertiary mutation?
Oh my god, see, it's doing it again. Oh no, my soundboard is broken again. Why does it do that?
Is it a digital soundboard or like a legit one?
Yeah, it is.
How's it broken? It's digital.
Because digital things are the worst things. They're the worst of all things. But, dang. Well, we'll see how she goes. Alright. Should we get into this episode?
If we must.
Now, so people do say it gets quite good. Now, my initial thing about this is what an X-Men cartoon looks like when Buffy the Vampire Slayer is very popular.
Yeah, I get that. It definitely brings it more into the high school realm. Obviously, they're all aged down, so they're high school students. But it's also interesting that Xavier's school it's not a school per se. I mean, it is, but it isn't. The kids also go to a normal high school.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what Bob Skier told us was his thing.
Yeah,
He said they had to do. He's like, you have no show unless you do that.
Well, definitely differentiates it a lot from the previous version, which is nice.
Let me see here. I think. All right. Well, you started off with the episode. I'm looking for something here. I'll find it.
Okay, just me rambling while Devin goes through his phone.
Well, I'm just trying to find Bob Skier sent us that series
Bible or whatever?
for this. Yeah. I'm just trying to find that.
Basically, it starts off with a high school football game. Get cheerleaders, get the high school guys. The high school guys see a student that they like to pick on going behind the bleachers. They sneak away the football players to go see this guy, who we come to know as Todd Talansky, who will come to know as Toad eventually. Yeah, what is it?
All right. Well, I found the series Bible. So, series Bible, it says developed by Robert N. Skier and Marty Eisenberg. First draft February 7th, year 2000. It's just short. It says the introduction. They are the children of the atom. Wonder if he wants me reading this. He probably doesn't care. Mutants born with powers that distinguish them from ordinary men and women. Yet they are children still, young, uncertain, and frightened by the changes overtaking their bodies. Turning to Professor Charles Xavier, they will try to understand the changes they are undergoing. It's called puberty. They will try to master their powers before these powers can master them, and honing their skills, they will form together into a team dedicated to protecting people from other, less benevolent mutants. They will learn to use their powers. They will learn to work together, and most importantly, they will become a team, protecting a world that may never truly know a place for them. They will become the X-Men.
I know.
Then it talks about just taking the X-Men back to their roots. Before there was fear of mutants and all that sort of stuff. But set in the present day, they're teenagers, lost, confused, and deeply conflicted. Characters spend, there's our major characters spend their regular school day attending a normal high school. And after school, they return home to the Xavier Institute where they train to use their powers. Yeah. They don't want to be heroes, they just want to be normal. Yeah, that's definitely the vibe I get from this first episode. If only circumstances would allow them to just live their lives in peace. Circumstances won't. And then it talks about just making it kid relatable. So
yeah, super cool. So so we start off with the football players go off behind the bleachers to follow the Toad character. We also see Scott Summers, who is watching the game with I believe is it Iceman? No, is it Angel he's watching it with? Or just some other kid at the school. It's a blonde kid.
I just assumed it was Alex, his brother.
Oh, that's true. Is Alex played into this movie, this show?
See, I don't know, but because I only watched the first season or so. But when you look at that picture that has what was it? Where do I have it here? I don't know. But of all the characters that are in this show, it's huge. It's like them all standing there. I think you used it for an image. Mm-hmm. But it's tons of characters. Angel's one of them, but no, I don't think that would be Angel. There was
kind of looks like him.
Moment. Yeah, he kind of looks like Havoc too. He's like, oh, my cash! Even though
I know he drops like a nickel, and he's like, my cash.
It's like no one calls a nickel cash.
What were you gonna buy with that?
I was gonna buy
cash.
Gene so many nice things. Don't you understand?
My cash.
That was my cash.
Yeah, my cat, yeah.
Well, hey, if it ain't Toady Talansky picking up a little spare change.
Toady Talansky.
If it isn't Toady Talansky.
Picking up a little spare change. Yeah. So this particular character, who's kind of a dink, is the head football guy. He goes behind. We discover that as Scott loses his cash, he notices someone stealing wallets from underneath the bleachers. Goes to investigate, and then discovers that the football team has already beaten them to it, and is about to basically beat the living hell out of Toad. I mean, they're kind of like interesting bullies in that they're sort of like stopping him
Trying to be
from-
altruistic, yeah.
kind of, but like also
Sort of.
beating three giant football players, beating this kind of wormy looking dude.
They're kind of just using it as an excuse to beat this guy up.
Yes,
And not
it's-
feel totally shitty about themselves.
That's all any of us can really do, Devin.
That's all we all want.
That's all any of us can really do, my friend.
Yeah.
So anyway,
See, there he is. There's Cyclops and maybe Havoc. See, he's even smaller too, like a younger brother. I'm saying Havoc. That's gonna be my guess right now.
kind of seems like Havoc. So sorry, guess I just got sidetracked doing something else. So yeah, then Cyclops comes to the rescue. Gets in a fight with the guys. Can prove that he can kind of hold his own with these football players. However, during the fight, Toad runs away, and then Scott gets his visor knocked off, which shoots a beam into a propane tank that happened to just be right in the line of fire of where he was standing. Blew up part of the field, which I always thought was, just always ridiculous kind of pushing of this action sort of sequence.
The things that it just have to be there to explode.
Exactly, because we need to have a giant explosion, and also it needs to make like national news because Wolverine needs to see it in like a newspaper somewhere else, like in the country, which is even dumber. But whatever. I mean, it's a
Having
good
himself
show.
a water.
Yeah, he said that he
What
just
do you care
needs.
about this scuzzo Summers? Not much. But I'm not crazy about 3 against 1 either. So how about we settle this peacefully?
What do you care about the Scuzzo Summers?
I will say this Cyclops is pretty good. He acts like Cyclops.
I like him.
They're all kind of like slight reinventions, of course. Some even not so slight of characters, but we'll have things to say about that in X points, I'm sure.
Will we?
I don't know, will we? Will we?
I don't know. So
It's a whole new show. Anything could happen.
That's true. It's true. It's the whole wide world, man. Things are getting wild.
My sunglasses. I could wear my sunglasses.
Get those fucking things off.
You and your
mouth.
stupid sunglasses at night can just bail.
Okay.
Just bail, man. Just bail.
I'm not gonna bail, but I'll take the sunglasses.
Oh, you can wear them, buddy. So cool. So good. So so then we get the opening sequence, which kind of introduces us to all the X-Men by even ones we haven't met yet in the show, including little cards that show you their names.
Interesting though, like they're introducing the characters slowly. Like we get 3 or 4 of them in this episode, and then interesting to see how slowly they'll trickle in the others.
Yeah, so then we cut to the story, which follows a mysterious car driving by with Professor X kind of looking in and noticing. I mean, it's supposed to be mysterious as to who this is, but if you know X-Men as we all do at this point, you know who it is.
Yeah.
With his personal valet, as it should be, Storm, driving him around and watering his plants and shit.
I'm just gonna say she likes to drive.
I'm not going to make this a racial thing, but I did get some driving Miss Daisy vibes from watching that particular scene. Can you take me to the Piggly Wiggly, Storm?
Driving Mr. Zavy.
Oh, I like that. That's very nice.
I felt dirty just saying it.
It's really funny. So then we go to we catch that, and we see the line you said we've kind of established, I guess, that Jean and Scott are together already in this universe. She picks up his glasses using her powers, puts them back in his face. She's also the photographer for the school, apparently. We see the football player is okay and kind of gets squirted off. Toad, of course, scurries away. We do meet Wolverine, who is taking a motorcycle on a trip somewhere and notices a story about the school blowing up, or part of the school blowing up. I don't know where he is in the world, but that's where he meets that pretty hello there. You dying to ride? Yeah.
Yeah, this must be the clip here.
You want that paper?
That's why I'm holding it, bub.
You want that paper?
It's good.
Yeah, a lot of good papers around here.
It's like a Virginian, like Jimmy Stewart. Joe's house, Bill's house.
It's not Bill's house.
I don't got
Hey,
your money.
Bill, why is my money at your house?
Just punch him right in the face. I don't get your money. It's Bill's house. It's Joe's house. Give me my money, Bill.
Simpsons gag. Give me my money, Bill. Yeah, pretty great.
So Wolverine orders a water and just can't, for some, it's so dumb. Like, he pulls a bottle of water out of the front thing. He wants a cold water. The guy gets him one. And then when the guy's not looking, Wolverine uses his claws to slice the top off the water bottle and drink it. He can't just screw the cap off like a normal person. He's going to slice it. Also, and slice it, so he must have had one claw come out and slice it because it didn't slice 3 sections of
You
glass,
could
right?
pop out 3 claws and just use your bottom claw.
No, because it would go, it was too wide. One of them would have cut the other one.
Maybe.
Yeah, like it would have definitely cut it. So anyway, then he disappears, and then we, of course, he's being watched by Sabretooth, who's watching from very far away, like a mile away on top of Cyber Mountain. How's Sabretooth keeping up with him? He's on a motorcycle, like Wolverine's on a motorcycle driving cross country, and Sabretooth's like a mile
Running.
away on top of the mountain looking at him from a rock. Like, you gotta, it's a lot of
Running
running.
and leaping.
A lot of leaping.
Look, he really hates Wolverine. He can run really fast when he's
I'll
shot
say.
at Wolverine.
So,
Interesting look for Sabretooth. Like, he's kind of like, he got like super long hair. Not a lot of beard scruff, as I recall.
definitely some inspiration from the movie, which didn't, when did the movie come out? Same year?
It had to have been before this, right? What
I thought
year
it was
did this
I thought
start?
it was 2000. This show started in 2000 as well.
Oh, wow, okay.
The first X-Men movie came out in...
I thought it was 2002.
2000. Exactly 2000.
Okay.
So there's probably some corporate synergy on the go with this.
Yeah.
We see Scott trying to get Jean to go to the bathroom so they can go because they don't want to be late. But then they meet the new student, which was picked up from the train station by Professor X, who we come to see is Nightcrawler. They give him an ability that he can hide his appearance. Of course, he's upset about how he looks, but they give him an option that allow him to pass as a regular human, which he's happy about. They, of course, belittle the point to him that, he is normal as he is. It's just this is going to help him fit in a little better. Not to say that there's anything wrong with him as he is now.
Normal is what you truly are. Never think otherwise.
Never think otherwise. Yeah. So then we meet Toad, who's the principal's office, getting in trouble for his antics. I believe the principal. We very quickly learn the principal of the school, because the principal knows that he was hanging out with Scott Summers and wants to know more about it. He doesn't know a lot, but the principal pushes the point, turning into a giant demon to sort of scare him into giving up his what he knows. We can obviously surmise from this that it is Mystique in disguise. It's one thing I've noticed about Storm's outfit in this. You know who it reminds me? What did you think of Storm's regular outfit? Not her superhero outfit.
Oh, her regular outfit.
Yes.
It was fine. Nothing came to mind.
It reminds me of look it up, or if you can look it up.
Yeah.
She looks like Esmeralda from the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
See, I don't think I saw Hunchback of Notre Dame, so I wouldn't know what it is.
What? You never saw Esmeralda?
No. I don't
Possibly one of the most disturbing villains in all of Disney is Frollo, the bad guy from that one.
Huh.
He's like I mean, he's like a religious dude who's obsessed with Esmeralda, and he like wants to basically make her marry him so that he can have sex with her because he's lusting after her, and he can't figure out how that juxtaposes with his deeply Catholic upbringing. It's super disturbing. He has a whole song about it. It's very good. I suggest it.
All right, fair enough.
Anyway, so yeah, they let so we see Cyclops going to school. Toad takes away his glasses.
Come on, Professor, I'm packing a bazooka behind each eyeball. What do you want from me?
Control, Scott.
Be better if he said in my pants. Come on, Professor. I'm packing a bazooka in my pants.
Well, he does say this
Scott.
later.
Man, Professor, you know what always weirds me out when you do that?
Sorry.
That's because Scott called him from school, and like Professor knew it was him because of his powers. But it's like
out of context, it's funny.
They also live in the world where caller ID exists at this point, so it's not that weird, you know. Like,
yeah, true enough. It's the 2000s.
Yeah. So, Scott, Toad wants to become more friendly, I guess, with Scott being positioned to do so by Mystique, who's posing as the principal of the school. So Scott decides to call
What
Charles.
happened to the real principal?
Good question. Scott calls Charles and asks if they should bring Toad in. Charles, even though Toad smells bad and all this stuff that he says, but they say they don't turn people away for this sort of stuff. And they send Storm off to do sort of an intro where she meets him in the woods and basically terrorizes him to discover his abilities. Like he just fucks him up real good and lures him back to the mansion. He also has an outfit for some reason. He already has like a superhero outfit for some reason. Who made that for him?
Yes, Professor.
I wonder if you could audition someone for me.
Go audition the Toad.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, sorry. I'm just reading an email, which is interesting. I met a guy on the flight I took to Toronto, who is doing a book about a famous Nova Scotian character and was thinking about making it into a graphic novel, and saw me drawing on my tablet and asked me about what I do and is interested in maybe making a graphic novel out of it. So hey, that'd be interesting.
That you would draw?
Maybe.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. Amos King Seaman, who is a big part of Nova Scotian industry early on. His last name's Seaman, so that's fun. So anyway, Toad already got a costume.
Guaranteed hit.
We saw Nightcrawler get his costume earlier. We see Storm in hers, which is kind of closerly a more updated version of, I guess, her black 80s costume without the headband and stuff.
Yeah.
But then Toad and Nightcrawler get in a bit of a kerfuffle and wind up in the danger room, and then have to deal with all the traps and stuff in the danger room.
That's a cool fight because they have
cool.
similar kind of ability.
Toad doesn't want to be part of it and leaves. He's confronted by Wolverine, who
You forgot about this zinger.
The name's Nightcrawler, and at least I don't reek like unwashed lederhosen, you blue-furred freak!
I like that. What I was more distracted by in that scene was this rap beat that came down underneath everything. It's like this. It hit real hard, real fast. It was just like. The
music's pretty good in this show, actually.
Yeah, it's very hip hoppy, rappy, which is interesting and unexpected.
Yeah.
So yeah, Toad tries to leave. He doesn't really want to put up with any of this stuff. It's too hard for him, essentially, and so he tries to run away. And then he bumps into Wolverine, who's arriving back at the mansion, who. Xavier tells him to let Toad go, and we discover, of course, that Wolverine, he says, "Welcome back, Logan." So Wolverine has a history with Charles and has been around for a while. So all these characters seem to know each other. I don't assume we're going to be seeing a romance between Wolverine and Jean Grey teased in this version, since she's basically a teenager. He's what I'd assume to be the same age as he was in everything else. The art is weird. It's like kind of very detailed sometimes, but also very simple sometimes.
Well, yeah, like this one's quite simple of Nightcrawler here.
There's one of Wolverine's face where he's looking up at Charles, so he looks very, almost like an anime character.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like this, the simplified designs of the costumes are kind of neat. Like Nightcrawler's
Jeans is pretty cool.
Jeans is really basic, but I like Scott's. Like they're just the simple X across the chest with the.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, they welcome Nightcrawler to the team, and we see the principal freak out a Toad for not getting any information, and then turn into Mystique. So confirming what we all knew from the get go. But then, of course, she is told to temper her anger. Because it's just the beginning by a mysterious character that we see the reflection of to obviously be Magneto.
So they didn't even need to show us the reflection because they were already showing us like metal start floating around.
Also, he looks very weird in that picture. Like the reflection in the window makes him look like a cartoon, like more of a cartoon character than he is in the thing.
Yeah, it's like you said about the art style in this. It does seem inconsistent. Sometimes it seems to be going kind of a bit more cartoony, like almost kind of like that Dexter's Laboratory style, whereas other times maybe more anime, whereas other times kind of more standard, more like TAS or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see if that kind of evens out.
Probably, I assume. I mean, obviously it's important that the show stand on its own feet with its own design and do its own thing instead of just being a rehash of what came before. It certainly does that. So
yeah, Nightcrawler having a different character there helps. They could even mix it up. Well, they do mix it up quite a bit once they start to add it. Oh my God, why? This was a fun gag back in like season 1 of X-Rated, but
it's taking me back. It's taking me back.
Oh my God. Why would it start just being broken again all of a sudden? I don't know. Anyway.
End of episode.
End of episode.
I feel like these episodes are going to be easier to get through for some reason. I don't know why. That one did not take very long.
No, well, this one wasn't very plot heavy. But it was pretty good on the character development side, I would say. But there wasn't much of a plot to be had in this episode. But I guess that brings us to... Actually,
now you played it on time, yeah.
That was the new X ratings theme. I've just been playing accidentally the entire show. So, X ratings. What are we gonna do? Wait, X ratings. We usually do our X points first, don't we?
I forgot about that. It's been so long since we've done actual episodes of the show.
Yeah,
all right, let's do. Yeah, usually it's X points and X rating. Actually, no, wait, is it? I don't know anymore.
Well, I think it is, but we'll do our ratings first since we already played the theme.
Sure.
I will give this.
New show, new ratings. All tens? All tens? Tens right across the board for you, like last time?
No. Like, it takes a lot of getting used to. Because it is like some of the characters are so different.
You have to try. You have to try to start over. You gotta.
Yeah.
You kind of.
I am. But still, there wasn't much of a plot here. And if you were to compare it to like TAS, this is no Night of the Sentinels. It doesn't start off quite as hot as TAS did, right? I'll give this a 7. Some character stuff good, but not much of a plot. Some good dialogue. Toad's cool. Setting it up with Mystique as the principal, though maybe obvious, is still pretty cool. I like that Nightcrawler's there and a main character. Cyclops was good. Jean was good. I may have some things to say about Xavier and Wolverine, but we'll see.
Cool.
What would you give this one?
What'd you give this one? Sorry, I missed what number you said. 7. Yeah, I was thinking about the same actually. That's the first time that jumped my head when I was thinking about it. So why not? Let's stay unified. United.
Certainly
X-Men,
not a bad opener, but not like blow my socks off.
There's 2 of us. X-Men 2. We're united. X-Men united. Think about it. Conspiracy.
What are we conspiring to do?
Who knows? Watch
Entertain
all of X-Men
the X-Goons.
Evolution. That's right. I'm sure they're riveted right now.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
All right. Well, 7's not bad. I mean, yeah, not bad. This one was... I don't know who wrote this episode, but I believe it was directed by Frank Poor, who I do hope to have on the show here soon. it'll be interesting to talk to him. Hope to have Stephen Gordon on the show here to talk about some X-Men Evolution. We'll get some people on to talk about the behind-the-scenes stuff here. But let's move on to X Points after the fact, we'll call this one. All right. X Points. I can go first.
Let's do it.
I was really hoping, based on his voice, that instead of Logan, Wolverine's voice would end up being Clancy.
Clancy.
I don't know. I feel like he sounds a lot like Clancy Brown.
Oh yeah, he kind of does a little bit. I do like Clancy Brown a lot. He's a great Lex Luthor.
I love Clancy Brown.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I feel like they wanted Clancy Brown for this, and they just like got a guy and just like, hey, can you do Clancy Brown?
He would have been a good Wolverine. Although his Lex Luthor is pretty awesome.
Clancy Brown's great and everything. He's Surtur.
Yeah, he is in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. Wolverine's gonna take maybe the most for me to get used to because he's just so different from Cal Dodd.
Yeah, that's true. But he sounds like a Wolverine.
Yeah. It's just like rather than having that high kind of growly, gruff kind of thing, he's like Clancy Brown. He sounds more like a cowboy or something like that.
All right, my point will be I don't recognize a single one of the voice cast in the show, not one, which I think is interesting because
hopefully we'll talk to some of them.
That's true, which is awesome. No, I love it. Like they all seem like very much like the first X-Men series because they were all relative unknowns at that time. It's interesting. So it seems like a cool voice cast that starts over just like the other one did. Hey, Lebowski.
As a voice cast, TAS is a tough act to follow too.
That is true. Very true.
Like they became such the iconic sounds we hear in our voices when we read the comics, even TAS. So like they're trying to compete with that, or not compete with that, but follow up with that. And I don't envy their task as voice actors. So I'm gonna give them definitely the benefit of the doubt for a while until I get used to the change, But yeah, I would say Wolverine and Xavier were like the ones where it's just like, what?
What is this?
That's different. Yeah.
Heck, wasn't for him, them jocks would have stomped my skull flat.
Yeah, I'm also not quite sure like what Toad's deal is. He also seems to talk like he's kind of wants to be like street sort of rapper kind of way of talking, which is interesting because they always put a hip hop beat behind him when he's talking.
In
totally talked in the 2000s. I don't recall talking like that all that much, but
they did. They were in the country at the time.
Oh, okay. So the big city kids were talking all jive and cool.
They talk
okay,
just like Toad.
Oh, okay. So Toad's representative of the time is what you're saying.
I think so.
Well, as you can see, you and me, we got something in common.
He's also like a gangster sometimes.
Yeah, he was my favorite in this episode. I gotta kick.
It's also odd that Toad is such a central figure to this whole show because if I recall anything about the show, it's that all the marketing always showed Toad all the time. So
yeah, well, I feel like I can't. I don't know if I remember this entirely right, but I think it's kind of ends up being like two rival groups of kids at school. So like Toad has this kind of brotherhood group eventually, I think.
Yes, I think that's where it goes to.
But it's good to see Toad, and it's smart to do because he was only in one episode of TAS, and it was the worst episode of the whole series. So, and he's a big long-time character in X-Men, so that was a good choice, I think. And she's not in the show yet, but I think putting Kitty Pryde in the show was super smart. Same with Nightcrawler.
Yeah, they definitely swapped out Jubilee for her for this version.
All about it. We just debated about that stuff, didn't we, on the X Debated last week?
Yes.
So check that out. No spoilers on who won. Was it me? Was it Andre? Was it Jamil? Could have been anyone.
Oh, that episode's out. People have seen that episode.
Yeah, I know. They've seen it. But if you haven't, go check it out. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, your X point.
Oh, the fight between Storm and Toad is it kind of reminiscent a little bit of the movie. So I'm thinking that there is something to do with this sort of corporate synergy between the movie and the show.
Could be. Could be. All right, where am I going next? Well, Nightcrawler, his image inducer, as it was called in the comics, the thing that makes him look human. I just thought it was his image inducer in the comics is way funny because it always made him look like this like European dandy with like one of those like kind of like twirly mustaches and like I don't know, just out of the time, like even in the 70s and 80s when these comics came out, it didn't make any sense. The way that image inducer made him look, it was pretty hilarious. So at least they made him look like a real kid in this one.
A real human boy.
A real human boy. All right, back to you. Is this your second or third?
This is my third one.
All right.
I think Kurt's brown robe might be a slight nod. Like when he gets off the bus and gets there, he has wearing a brown robe, and I think that's like a slight nod to his monkdom, as we from the old comics.
Oh my God! Why? Anyway, I'm turning that off now. I don't need any more sound effects. But yeah, and he was wearing that same robe in his TAS appearance as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a little nod to that, I think, somehow.
Yep, he might get into it. You know, he's kind of young to be a monk in this series. But maybe he, grew up in the monastery instead of the circus. We'll find out. Which might be a more sensible way to go, because circuses aren't what they used to be. As far as like they have freaks in the circus or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
So back to me, eh? Well, what can I talk about? Storm. Let's talk about Storm. I liked her room. It's kind of reminiscent of her room in the comics. It's kind of like the upper loft, full of plants, lots of windows, in a little balcony there. It was nice. Very Storm. Not very driving Miss Daisy.
I know. This is a joke. I didn't really.
It was a nice studio kind of apartment looking thing. It was nice. Back to you.
Back to me. The original episode was going to be titled "The Start of a Beginning," which is
The start of a beginning.
Yeah, it's I'm glad they changed it. It's kind of a dumb title. It's sort of redundant. The start of a beginning. It's like the start of the process of starting.
The end of the finale.
Yeah, it's like that Smashing Pumpkins song, the end of the beginning, the beginning of the end of the beginning, or whatever. And then it was on the Batman and Robin soundtrack. And then at the end of it, it was the end of the beginning of the end or something like that. It's like something like that.
All right, well, back to me. Let's talk about the Cyclops curse, shall we? So who played Cyclops in 97? It's not Watterson, that's Magneto, right?
It was Hemblin, David Hemblin.
No. Who played Cyclops in X-Men 97?
Oh, I'm not sure. New guy, right?
Yeah, the new guy. Oh, geez, what was his name again? He hasn't been on the show, so I can't remember his name. Good reason to come on the show, everybody.
That's all right, so we can remember your names.
Okay. Well, it's not even coming up. What? Okay, Ray Chase, right. Ray Chase. Somebody, put like an alert bracelet on him or something, because everybody who voices Cyclops in a cartoon dies. Norm Spencer, dead. Kirby Moreau, who voices him in this series, dead. They all die young.
Too?
Yep.
Wow.
It's the Cyclops curse, man. Keep an eye on Ray Chase, everybody.
Jeez, okay, Ray. Run for the hills, Ray.
Run, Ray. I mean, you were a brave man to take this role on. Maybe they didn't tell you about the curse, but I feel they should have. It's like when somebody like the real estate agent doesn't tell you that your house is haunted. It's not right. It's not right.
Well, they got to tell you.
They got to tell you. You know, it's a selling point for some people, but not all.
My final X point is... Shoot, where'd it go? Oh, no, did I get rid of it? Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Scott and Jean seem to be the first people we meet. And, you know, very much like the comics are the first X-Men, in quotes. Seems like a little nod to that, too, of course. Those two.
Settle down there, Lebowski.
Yeah, he's bit my foot.
Jeez. Jeepers.
It's all rambunctious.
Lebowski. Settle down. Well, he's excited about this new X-Men Evolution review series.
Yeah, he is.
Well, let's move on to this classic segment with a new twist, shall we?
Hey, check it.
Yeah.
So cool.
All right. Hey, check it. This is our comic recommendations and reminiscences segment. It's not hey, check this out anymore. It's cool in 2000s. It's hey, check it.
That's right.
What you got for us?
Oh, comic recommendations. So I just talked to a guy today who, from my other podcast, who wrote a book called Holler. His name is Jeremy Massey. It's a super interesting book about growing up in sort of a bit of a conservative area of the States in Virginia, but being into like Nirvana and punk rock and trying to be like start a garage band. And it's based on his real life, but it's very interesting. It's very good. So yeah, check it out. From what I've read of it, I wrote the full book so I could read it. But when I read the original one, what I've read of it is great. And I'll give you a full review when I read the whole thing. But it's all the small parts that I've read are excellent. So I think it's a really cool. If you're a product of that time period as I am, it'll definitely resonate with you in some way. Check it out.
Where's it available?
Order it through Diamond. Dark Horse distributed it, so you can get it wherever.
Oh, okay.
Amazon, I guess, if you do the Amazon thing.
My pick, and this is probably one part anticipation as well, but I'm going to pick Wolverine Revenge by Jonathan Hickman. It's a new miniseries. One, because it's Jonathan Hickman, who is, with him and Jason Aaron are probably like the two who kind of don't really miss for me, really. They're pretty great all the time.
Even bringing Dog to the Future.
Well, who did that? Jason Aaron?
Yeah, in that Spider-Man Wolverine miniseries. The one with the orb.
Well, I like the orb, but the dog thing, that's questionable, Jason Aaron. Okay, well, But, so it's an interesting little story. It's based on, it's happening in like a timeline that didn't happen. Like, it's not like an EMP goes off and it's like the only people left to like save Western society, because they're immediately, it's like this East-West split, is like Wolverine, Captain America, Bucky, and Nick Fury, and they're kind of all that's left. And then, anyway, there's a few, the Russians, and like their kind of squad, have the last like unlimited power source, like it's a perpetual motion machine, or like cold fusion or something, but it's like the only power source left because everything else was knocked out by EMP. So basically Wolverine, Cat, and Bucky are going to steal it for Western society, and the Russians are trying to protect it. But I haven't got my second issue yet. It's sitting at Giant Robot Comics waiting for me, and I got the Red Band edition. So I think it's going to get bloody. Wolverine's not too happy about all of this. And
they have Red Band editions of comics that are more violent than others?
Yep.
Really?
Like,
so
there's like an
two versions of the comic?
It.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting new gimmick.
Yeah. So, looking forward to that Red Band edition. I'll probably have something to say about it next week. I wanted to talk about it today, but I didn't get to the comic shop in time. But lots of anticipation from issue 1.
Very cool.
Yeah. Jonathan Hickman writes Wolverine miniseries. Why not? All right. Let's move on to our next fresh segment, or old segment perhaps, with a new twist. You never know. We've evolved. It's Audio-Visual Club with Andre. What have you got for a recommendation for us tonight, Andre? Either audio or visual.
Oh, I can do either.
Yeah, you can break into your record collection or your movie collection.
Ooh.
It's a fresh segment. We've evolved.
All right. So there's an artist who I discovered through. She was on the soundtrack to James Gunn's Suicide Squad. She had a song called "Can't Sleep." Her name is K. Flay, Flay, and her new album is called Mono. It came out late last year, and it's really, really, really good. I highly suggest it. And she has a really cool style, and it's unique to her kind of. And I've kind of did a bit of more of a deep dive in her stuff, and I really, really dig it. But that album particularly is it's fantastic, and I've really dug it. So go with that one. K. Flay, Mono.
All right. Check that out, everybody. All right, let's move on to our next segment for tonight. What do we got? All right.
I'd like you to meet someone.
Must have had fun putting all this music together.
Oh, yeah. I was in a super rush because, my life is chaos. But it was fun regardless. A little fresh feel to the show. So, we have a new student we're going to do, and this was former guest of the show, X-Goon Nick Meredith's idea. We're going to do some kind of obscure character spotlights for you. Oh, Puxley. Hey, Puxley, what's up? Thanks. All right, we'll be join me and Puxley on Friday for some debate nines over in the Star Trek style. If you liked our X-Men one, we're going to debate Star Trek style on Friday. So, we have a new student. You want to go first, Andre?
This is
crazy.
Why is that crazy?
That's crazy.
Her name's Chorus. She was invented during Morrison's run. She's one of Morrison's fun little mutants. She has mouths coming out of her neck. She's basically a body horror character.
To what end? Do they do anything?
They sing. She can sing, and her name is Choir. She sings and you can sing.
So the extra mouths are just there to sing?
There are several mutants that have abilities that aren't that important. But
I'm just curious.
Comics.
So she's just she has mouths all over her neck.
Her name is Iriana Clayton, Irina Clayton from Earth 616. Her name is Choir. They don't really say. We see her. She assists Jean Grey when they're fighting off the U-Men. And Sublime, who I always forget was a character in the X-Men universe. John Sublime, which is a weird name. I'm a big fan of the band Sublime, so there's that. She had 3 extra mouths that allow her to speak with multiple voices and cast her voice.
Do you practice Santeria?
Ain't got no crystal ball. But they allow her to speak in caster voice that appears that she's coming from different locations. That's as far as how her powers have worked in the comics. That's about as far as they've gotten. However, she did lose her powers during M Day, but they were restored during the Krakoa.
Her powers? So her mouths went away?
There may have been more to her powers, but
okay.
Her first appearance was a new X-Men number 119. She was turned into a monster by Margali Cesardos. Is that right? Margali. Sorry, she has she's kind of a weird mutant monster demon witch thing. Margali of the Winding Way, Margali. You should know this. She appeared.
A bell.
Really, she first appeared in Chris Claremont. She's created by Chris Claremont and John Romita Jr. in X-Men Annual number 4 from 1980.
I don't think I have Annual 4. I'm missing a few of the annuals.
Anywho, she was turned into a monster, and then I think we went back to normal afterwards. While she was at the Green Lagoon. That's as far as my knowledge of her goes. I just know she's invented by Morrison, an incredibly obscure mutant, as you asked me to look up. So,
yep. Well, I'm gonna go with the character who kind of started off like that with just a freakish deformity kind of looking power, but then they keep adding layers to those powers, and it gets cool. Eye Boy.
Oh yes, little Eye Boy.
First, he has like 57 eyes, I think it is 57, 51, something like that. He's got 50 some eyes.
Got a lot of eyes.
He's got a lot of eyes, and before it's just like he can see out of all of them, but his powers didn't go like a lot farther than that. But he's he's been in quite a few books, and recently in the Krakoa era, he was on X Factor. He was on that team, and they really got into his powers in that book, and that was really cool. I do have a list here, I think, of all the things his eyes can do now. He has microscopic vision, telescopic vision, X-ray vision, night vision, infrared vision, thermal vision, chemical detection, psychological intuition, aura viewing and tracking, attack prediction, history reading, oneric scrying, weakness perception, electric wave perception, microwave perception, illusion perception, magical wave perception. Anything you can do with eyes, you can do it. Solar ray emission. What? He can do that now? He can shoot beams now? That's crazy, because his whole joke before was he had like a million eyes and none of them shot cool shit out of them or anything. Interesting.
They do now.
And also, obviously, an expert marksman. But he can, like, see, like, through walls. He is, like, yeah. Crazy stuff. And then he goes into this dream state sort of thing, too, where he, like, looks inward on himself with, like, all his eyes. And, like, it's a cool character. Really cool character.
Yeah, I always thought he was kind of interesting. He very, very David Cronenbergian to me.
Yeah, so that's that new segment. Alright, what else do we got here to do? What else do you want to talk about? Seems like there's a delay on the season of 97, though, or season 2 of 97, though maybe that's a rumor.
No, I believe I saw that they're pushing it to 2026, right?
26, yeah. That's alright. Gives us time to do this series, and maybe Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
And we'll keep the hype going for 97. We'll try to get some of the 97 cast back on. Keep the hype going for that as well.
Yeah. Down for that.
Why not? Yeah. It's X-Men. There's always more X-Men to talk about, people. And, we're gonna start. It's gonna start trickling in more to the MCU as well, and that'll be interesting to talk about. So, well, you know what? Let's do one more segment, shall we? All right. Extracurriculars. Yeah. So that could be anything. Extracurriculars could be anything. I'm going to change it every week, probably. It'll be some sort of a game. But this time, I think I want to keep it pretty simple. And I think we'll just try to pick who we would start the MCU X-Men with. We think that would, because they had to pick a new team for this show to try to differentiate a bit, but also keep some continuity. Who do we think? What's the perfect mix of known and unknown to kick off the X-Men MCU?
Beast.
Beast is on your team?
We've already seen him.
We've already seen him. Kelsey Grammer's Beast. You're right. He should be on there. Obviously, you got to have
Binary
Cyclops.
for some reason is already established as well.
Binary, not necessarily on the X-Men, but I'm down with that if they wanted to stick her on there because she's hanging out like she did. I mean,
Wolverine, Cavalrine, I guess.
Don't start with Wolverine. No, don't do it.
You know they're going to. There's no way they're not going to put their most popular character.
All the rumors say they aren't.
That'd be cool if they didn't, but
like they're gonna put him in stuff like not Cavalry. Jackman's sticking around till he's 90. That wasn't a joke. Like,
you're 90.
Like I think what they'll do is start the X-Men off without him and do that Hulk Wolverine movie. So just to keep Wolverine.
No.
Yes, they do. That's the rumor too. That Hulk Wolverine's happening.
All right, that'd be awesome.
After Secret Wars.
There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors about what the Marvel Universe that we got was going to be. They weren't the same either. So.
Oh, I know, and I'm not
wouldn't
taking
put much sway
a
into
lot
that.
of stock in it. But I don't think they'll just put maybe he'll show up as a cameo or something. But I don't think he'll be on the first team of X-Men. No. They have done it before with First Class. That movie sucked. But I do think. Okay, here's my pick for that team. Put Channing Tatum's Gambit on that team. He was amazing.
That would be pretty
Let's
fun.
start it off with Beast and Gambit. That's a weird team because it's like, well, it's very TAS so far. Mm-hmm. All right, let's try to pick 3 each. So, who else are you going to put on this team?
Jubilee.
You think Jubilee? That's going to be like kind of the audience surrogate character for this team?
Yeah, we haven't really got a great. We haven't really got. She hasn't really got much due in a live action. The closest she's gotten to like having a significant character in any of them is.
Oh my god! All right, I give up. I'm retiring from podcasting. You've heard it here first.
The closest we've gotten to like any significant character arc for her at all was in Generation X. So.
And some later X books. Like she was on the all-female X-Men team.
No, I'm talking about in television and film.
Oh.
We haven't really got a version of her besides the cartoon one in any live action stuff. You know, in the live action X-Men movie, she was like referenced but barely did anything, and then in the Generation X thing, she was the only one that she really had a character, and it was not the greatest version of her. It
was whitewashed.
Yeah, exactly. For that reason and several others, but that's the big one.
And I think that's a good choice. So far, we're straight up from X-Men TAS cast. And I'm not going to change that. I think you got to have Cyclops as the leader.
Mm-hmm.
So, geez, are we just going to end up picking
I think
TAS
so.
cast?
And then Storm. You gotta have Storm in there.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. She was gonna be my next pick, so now she doesn't.
Of course
have
she
to
was.
be. Okay, well, dang.
Actually, I'd like to see Iceman.
See, that's changing it up a bit.
Yeah, that way it's someone that's like a classic. Oh, he was on the original team, so keep it a classic
with
thing.
Beast
but
there and Cyclops, like you could have him and Cyclops. And
you know what? They should just do the original team. Although there's only one woman on it. So the original team and then add Storm, that would be fine.
And Jubilee.
No, I meant the original.
See, I don't think they should.
I meant the original comic team.
Angel.
What's wrong with Angel?
I don't know.
His bones are hollow.
Like they sort of did all those characters in the Fox universe to like bad effect, which is a good reason to redo them. I agree with that, but.
He's got hollow bones, so he can't even get punched. You just turn into brittle.
I think you sort of do a mix of that and like the TAS thing or something. I don't know. You gotta have Storm, but like all these characters don't have to come in on the first movie either.
Yeah, I know.
X-Men teams
Fair enough.
always build. And they probably will want like that younger character, whoever that is. Probably will be. I think Jubilee's a good pick for that.
Yeah, I think just kind of like mirror what we got, but then make it different.
So it's like Jubilee like 290s. Like she's such a 90s character,
Yeah, Chili. She's a mall baby.
She's a mall baby. But do people go to malls anymore?
Yeah, they get chili fries.
Oh, okay. Malls exist now just
as chili fry distribution centers mostly.
Yeah, mostly. and cell phones.
That's right. And VCRs. You need those VCRs.
VCRs? Where are you right now? In 1992?
Shh. I'm in heaven.
I'm in heaven. It looks exactly like 1992. We knew it.
That's right.
We knew it.
It's like one of my favorite sketches I ever saw on the internet was is it like Funny or Die, where it's like this guy who's like, man, I wish I could go back to like the 90s when things were cool, and then like this guy appears with like a guitar, he's like noodling and stuff, he's like, yo man, like I'm here to grant your wish, and he's like, the guy like goes back to the 90s, he's like, Pogs, he's playing with Pogs, he's like, Pokemon cards, he's looking at them, and then the guy that like takes him back goes, now you know what you got. Now that you're back in the 90s, you know what you got to do. And then the guy's like, what? And he's like, and the guy hands him a gun and goes, prevent 9/11. And then the guy's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I mean, you're in the past. You have the knowledge. You can prevent 9/11 from happening. The guy's like, but I just wanted to like play with Pogs and like relive my childhood. And then the guy goes, yeah, I guess we could just like,
we could just play Pogs.
Yeah, we could just play Pogs and listen to music, but we'd probably... feel pretty bad about that. Not preventing 9/11, and then the guy's like, fine. And then the guy gives him like a list of where like the people flying the planes were like training to And then like where they were training, and then like later on it shows the guy going to jail, and they're like, "Why did you kill these like aviation enthusiasts from like because nobody knew they were terrorists, so they did what they did, right?" And he's like, and then they're like taking him away, and he goes, "I just wanted to play Pogs." It's pretty good.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. See, what would be cool if they did too in the MCU? Like you put Gambit on that first team, and you introduce Rogue as a villain.
And then he woos her with his
kind
his
of
Frenchness.
or like with his Frenchness or friendship.
Oh no, she got to slide that Cajun dick. You got to get some of that.
Whoa!
What?
I guess we are X-rated.
That's
right.
right.
Yep.
I'm kidding. I mean, their love story is nice, and it is very interesting narratively. It'd be like you can love and lust after this person, but you literally physically cannot touch them. Although condoms. They could wear one and still have sex. And if he wore some
control collars,
if he wore some kind of an elaborate
bodysuit that just has
or
like
at
a
least
condom on there,
maybe just yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm sure like they could find a way to make it work. I mean, it's not the ideal, but I think if you really love someone, you would like. That's why I always find it very interesting that there are real world solutions to their issue, but they're like, we can't. You know what I mean? Like we can't. Like they could still, in a way, have sex.
Risky.
They can wear gloves. They can touch each other that way.
But could they do it Cajun style?
I mean, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure they can figure it out.
You know what it means. You're Acadian. You're practically Cajun.
Well, I don't want to,
I'm not gonna let the style.
I don't want to let everybody know our dark secrets of the Cajun people. Oh.
Alrighty. Well, you know what? This segment still works, though I haven't changed the music for it yet. But I might just play the old one.
All I need now is for you to contact your students, Professor.
What are they up to?
What are they up to? Yeah, that's a different one.
All right, go watch the next episode. The name of which escapes me because I forgot to look it up before I closed down my screen, which I always do.
What kind of homework is that?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. Just give me one quick second. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, actually, I can just look at it. I think it's in my. Because I downloaded the series, so I think it's right in here. The X Impulse. Is X in the title? Okay, it's not. Oh, there's Strategy X was episode 1. Episode 2 is called The X-Impulse.
Do you have the series now? You don't need me to send it to you?
I don't.
Okay. Well, go check it out. We'll be back here next week talking about it.
That's
Disney
right.
Plus, what's up? Why is it not on there? We're not trying to be illegal here.
Yeah, you're ruining it. You're making it hard for us to stay within the boundaries of the law here.
Yeah, making it really hard.
It's weird. It must be because they just didn't want to muddy the brand with the new series, but it's kind
of the only
dumb.
thing I can think of.
But why?
Wouldn't it just create hype for X-Men and get more views on those other X-Men shows too?
Why limit what you got on your streaming service? Just I guess maybe for space on their servers, I suppose. But it's I don't know. X-Men's kind of a big deal right now. Why not just go all X-Men?
I don't get it.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
A new Spider-Man.
I might have to write a letter, old school, with ink.
A frosty letter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dear to whom it may concern.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, you can support our show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show, though I kind of got to revamp the Patreon. I'm working on ideas. I'm brainstorming. You can get sweet merch.
That means it's going to be more work for me is what that means.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Get your merch at redbubble.com/people/X-Men Review Show /shop. We got lots of good merch up there, including the old X-Rated Evolution, the new X-Rated Evolution banner. This kind of thing. You can get that on a t-shirt. X-Rated Evolution. Get Magneto is right. That's our most popular one.
Is that the most popular of all of them?
Oh, yeah. By a pretty significant margin, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, people think Magneto was right. I don't think we've sold a single Professor Xavier was right.
Really?
And maybe a sticker. I don't know.
We should do like a Apocalypse is right. We'll do all the rights.
We should do Xavier was wrong. If Magneto was right is so popular, wouldn't Xavier was wrong be exactly the same amount?
One
of
might
popular?
assume that, but not necessarily.
Well, that's ridiculous. That's math.
It's just math.
It's just math. Contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook, because you can follow us there and on YouTube and Twitch. So if you contact us on Twitch, you might as well be screaming into the wind, because
into the void, just yelling, screaming into the endless void.
You can watch us there, but I'm not there. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. We're everywhere. We're international, baby. And please like, review, and subscribe. And check out, ufpodcast.com if you still go to .coms. If not, check out all of our sister and brother podcasts.
That's right.
At your nearest convenience.
Including,
you're right. Including, hold on, I got this.
The Graphic Histories Podcast.
That's a strong voice that says that word, and that is a very strong,
I think it was Clancy Brown.
Voice. I think it was too. I think it's better than Clancy Brown.
It's better than Clancy Brown.
I mean, I don't know if it's possible. It might be somehow. I mean, some way.
Well, X-Goons, let us know. Did that voice sound better than Clancy Brown?
Did it stir something within you of a sexual nature?
Oh wow! Oh my.
Just we want to know. I mean, it's for marketing, really.
You like Clancy Brown even more than I do.
Yeah. Check out the new episode out now with a big part of most Canadian children's childhoods. PJ Phil Guerrero.
I was
great
very
chat.
Excited.
Yes, Davin procured that one for me. Thank you, Davin. That was a great chat.
Well, he's a hero. I got to exchange
he's a really cool
messages
guy.
with PJ Freshfield, and I'm still giddy.
He's super cool and very accessible dude. I might hang out with him tonight next time I'm in Toronto.
Well, I'm going to Toronto with you because I want to hang out with PJ.
No, you can't hang out with him. You don't know him like I do. We're best friends now. No,
That's the thing. I approach all these cool people so Andre can make friends with them. It's a weird place I live in.
That's right. And then exclude you from hanging out with us. I'm kidding. Yeah, the next episode is with Jeremy Massey, as I mentioned earlier, who is a cool little indie comics guy who's out there doing the work. And it's impressive stuff. It's very... we talk a lot about the things that sort of inspired this work, like American Splendor and Hate and Robert Crumb's work, and Eltingville Club by Dorkin, like all those things. So there's a lot of that sort of slice of life story that kind of each because it was broken up into episodes that he collected, and each issue had like several different stories that all sort of connected his life. So it's very interesting, very good, and if you like those sort of real life sort of stories, it's very interesting. Well worth reading.
Well, who else is on the docket?
Well, that depends.
Who else is coming down the Graphic Histories pipeline?
Graphic Histories pipeline. Well, we have Mark Maya, who's next, and then Steve Bino, Johnny Christmas.
Oh, we got Johnny Christmas coming.
Stefan Petruccia. Kinds of folks coming. So,
all kinds of. Look at that. Graphic Histories. Unstoppable force.
Mark A. McKenna.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And more, I think, in... actually, that's a lot. But I got one with Robbie Atkinson in November. So I'm scouting ahead a bit.
Check it out. Graphic Histories. Your weekly interviews in the comic and general pop culture-ish world.
Yeah.
You could say.
One of us.
Whoops. Where did Andre go? Andre just disappeared, did he? Well, that's interesting. He's back. Where did you go?
I went to go click the screen, and I clicked the Leave Studio button. So I just
all of a sudden, I was much bigger. I'm like, what?
Goodbye.
Hello. Well, now that you're back, let's get out of here.
All right. X time.
Catch you next time, everybody.
Could we be excused for a second?
Watch horror movies. It's Halloween.
Just hustle back.
Yeah. Hustle back and watch horror movies. That's a good point.
Get in that Halloween spirit.
I just love Halloween.
Me too.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.